Welcome live, everybody, to the Brevard Sports Network. I'm Jackson Robb. Alongside me tonight, my cameraman, Caleb Brown, and we are live from Melbourne High School ahead of one of two feature matchups tonight on the Brevard Sports Network, the second of our doubleheader games, as the Viera Hawks travel to Melbourne tonight for this rivalry volleyball matchup between the Hawks and the Bulldogs. Again, I'm Jackson Robb. Welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. Now, that other game tonight that's already started on the Brevard Sports Network is the Rockledge Raiders traveling to the Merritt Island Mustangs for the Mustangs senior night. Alan Slaughterzinski on the call over there across the bridge. But first of all, we can talk about this one tonight. Melbourne comes into this game at 5-5. Viera at 10-3, and Viera's had a nice start to their season, looking very solid. But mention it's a rivalry game because anything can happen, especially with a team like Melbourne, solidly around 500, not a team to overlook. I think for the Melbourne Bulldogs, they could come out here and make a statement tonight if they could win this game. Viera is 17-7 all-time versus Melbourne, but they've only given up one set in the last 4 meetings. So I think right now for Melbourne, they just got to get past that one set, and maybe they can do something here tonight.
You know, well, listen, this is a rivalry game, and if we've known anything to be true, it's I don't care what sport it is, football, baseball, basketball. Records mean nothing coming into rivalry games because those weird things that you think, there's no way this can happen, that tend to happen in games like this. These two schools, rivals. When you talk about Melbourne went on a long streak in several sports last year in beating Viera in many sports. So the feud between these schools is real. It's fun, and I'm so glad we get this one right here on the Brevard Sports Network.
It should be a good one here tonight. Viera is coached by head coach Sarah Wayne, her 16th season, the only head coach Viera volleyball has ever known. She is 227 and 118 for Melbourne. It's Coach Jan Dermer in her 6th season. She's 67 and 39 in her career here. Back to serve for Melbourne, number 21, McKenna Green. Green back to serve, and we are underway in tonight's varsity action. There's the set, back to the spike. It's tipped at the net. It does end up getting over. Here's the bump. Got to get over on this hit. Melbourne will by Kennedy Arthurs. Sits back the spike there by Carter. Spike there for Melbourne, and there's the kill to get us started. Jenna Turner gets us started here as the Melbourne Bulldogs jump out to the 1-0 lead.
Great job there by Melbourne, and look, that's what you want. You want to try to get on a roll here of 3 or 4 points. Just keep momentum in your direction.
Serve again by Green. There's a set. Spike coming up, a big spike there by Matt Carter, the senior middle. And just like that, it's 1-1 with the kill by Carter, who is their kill leader and block leader with 114 kills and 13 blocks. Back to serve for Viera, number 8, Haley Bay. And there's the good spike there by Turner. There's a setback for Carter. Carter sends one towards the back line. Set up by Green, and spike gets there by Turner. There's a setback for the spike by Bay. Back to return here. There's the tip on the second touch getting over. Set by Mers. Spike there by Carter. And that one flies out for the point. And another Matt Carter kill for the Viera Hawks. It's 2-1 Viera leads.
They're going to find volleyballs underneath the gyms. Archaeologists are in like the next 100 years. They're going to be like, how did this one? And there will be legends told of Matt Carter's spikes being dug out of the ground.
Haley Bay on the ace there for Viera. 3-1 they lead. There's the serve getting over there, returned by Melbourne. There's a setup for the spike down the line, inbounds for the kill by Casey Morgan. Haley Beck back to the service line for Viera. She's got an ace on this 4-point run. Beck on the serve. Off the top of the net, just gets over. The first touch gets over for Melbourne. There's a set by Mers. Carter tries to tip it over. And a good block for the point by Libby Ashline. She's their block leader with 49 blocks. Checking in for Melbourne, number 4, Eva Cortaza. And Cortaza heads back to the service line for Melbourne. Served by Cortaza. They're received now. Set for the spike by Carter. Matt Carter picks up her 3rd kill of the game as Viera jumps out to a 5-2 lead, and they get the point and possession back here. Back to serve is number 11, Casey Morgan.
But, I mean, and that's just what makes Viera so dangerous, is the fact that you have someone like Matt Carter who just almost every other swing, you'll be lucky if you can get under it.
And there's a spike and a kill by Libby Ashline. And she's got 2 of their 3 points now. She's their kill leader also with 82. Make that now 83 kills. And Ashline will head back to the service line for Melbourne. 5-3, Viera leads early. Served by Ashline. Drops in right near her on the line for Ashline for the ace. 5-4 now, Viera leads. Ashline.
Great serve there by Ashline.
Ashline back to serve. Ashline serves, drops that one in. Good receive. There's the set. The second touch goes over by Mers. Mallory Mers there on the set. Coming across the tip. Gets over by Sophia Jones. Spike blocked by Matt Carter. Melbourne keeps it up and gets it over somehow at the net. The fight goes to Viera by Mallory Mers for the point. 6-4. Viera leads and they get the point back. Matt Carter will head back to serve.
6-4 here in set number 1.
Carter serve received by Melbourne. Got to get over here. They do. Number 6, Taylor Steigerwald gets it over. Tip over at the net once again by Mallory Mers for the point. Served by Carter once again. Received now by Melbourne. Here comes the spike. Gets low. Somehow gets over by Amelia Talbot. And Talbot there on the set. Carter keeps it in. Sydney Williams sends it over as they fight up at the net. And that one drops out of bounds by Melbourne. Point stays with Viera. 8-4, Hawks lead. And Matt Carter stays at the service line. Carter on the serve. Nice serve by Carter, and that'll drop in for an ace. Now 9-4, Viera leads still early in set number 1. Matt Carter back to serve. She drops it in, and Melbourne can't receive it. Dig attempt there by Eva Cortaza. Checking in for Melbourne now, number 7, Gabby Lapman. 10-4, Viera leads early in the first set. Nice run they're on right now with Matt Carter back at the service line. Carter serve there. Carter's serve goes long. And the run will end there as Melbourne gets the point back now, 10-5. In comes number 11, Haley Trillo. And Trillo will head back to the service line for the Bulldogs. Checking in for Viera, number 2, Audia Freckleton. Comes in for Matt Carter. Served by Trillo. Drops in nicely there. Good dig by Talbot. And the spike there is blocked out by Melbourne. The point goes to Viera now. 11-5, Hawks lead. Heading back to serve, number 4, Mallory Mers. Mers on the serve there, just gets over. Good receive by Melbourne. Set up here for the spike by Maldonado. And the point stays with Melbourne off the Maldonado spike. 11-6, Viera leads. In comes for Melbourne, Jenna Turner. Back to serve for Melbourne, number 23, Kennedy Arthurs. Arthur serve. A good one there. Good bump. Here comes the spike set up there by Sophia Jones. There's a set across. The tip over. Great take by Viera, but they can't keep it up long enough. Jenna Turner picks up the point for the Melbourne Bulldogs now, 11-7. Viera leads. Once again, it's Arthurs on the serve. A high arcing serve there, bumped up there. Viera gets it over there. Sydney Williams does it. There's the tip by Turner again. Comes a set. Spike going over by Haley Beek. There's a set back. Got to get over on that one. They will, but it's out of bounds. Ariana Maldonado hits that one out of bounds. 12-7 now, midway through set number 1. Viera leads. Number 13, Sophia Jones, back to serve. Jones. Great serve there for the ace. As Arthurs can't receive it for Melbourne, it's 13-7. Viera leads. Midway through the first set here tonight. 13-7 the lead for Viera. Jones serve, just creeps over the net. And then
that was almost like one of those like knuckleball serves. Like you thought it was going to go long, and then it just died.
Yeah, and then it bounced off two Melbourne players like a pinball. And with that, Coach Jan Dermer wants a timeout for the Bulldogs. 14-7, Viera leads midway through the first set. Our sponsor tonight is the Mortgage Depot. In today's age of voicemail, computer technology, and longer work hours, many institutions have lost the personal aspect of mortgage lending. The Mortgage Depot strives to fulfill every type of customer needs, whether the customer chooses to apply online, by phone, or by appointment face-to-face in the office. You can call them at 321-757-5000. Thanks to the Mortgage Depot for sponsoring tonight.
I mean, go ahead.
Coming back out of the timeout here, back to serve for Viera. That's number 13, Sophia Jones. There's a setback for the spike by Mihovic. Set up here, got to get over on that hit. Casey Morgan does for Viera. There's a set across for the tip. It's blocked. Turner's tip blocked there at the net. Turner going to go up again. It's tipped at the net. Good net presence by Viera. Back for the spike. And the kill there by Haley Beek. And the Viera Hawks win the timeout. Lead it 15-7 here in set number 1 as the Hawks looking good to start. Sophia Jones back to serve again.
They just came out on fire.
Jones serve for the ace. Sophia Jones picks up the ace as Kennedy Arthurs can't receive the serve. 16-7, Viera leads nicely here in the first set.
We'd like to welcome Uncle Eric, says, go Sophia Jones. Uncle Eric checking in from Sebastian.
Serve there by Jones ends up in the net. Finally, the point heads back over to Melbourne. They got to take advantage here. Back to serve is Nina Galway, the libero. Galway to serve. A nice one, but it goes a little too long on that one. Too much power, and the point heads right back to Viera. 17-8. Matt Carter checking in now for Viera. 17-8. Viera leading this one. Back to serve for Viera is number 9, Sydney Williams. Good serve. Set up for the spike by Ashlyn. It's blocked at the net there. And back for the fourth touch for Melbourne to give Viera the points. Viera leads by double digits here in the first set, 18-8. Sydney Williams back to serve for the Hawks. Williams drops that one in. Set up for the spike by Maldonado. Back up for the spike by Matt Carter. There you see it again, the kill by Carter. 19-8 now, Viera leads following the vicious spike by Matt Carter. Carter, the senior middle, standing at 6 foot up there. Served by Williams. Can't be received as that's an ace for Viera. Now 20-8 for the Hawks.
And that's the thing about Matt Carter. You know the ball's going to her. It's just you got to try to stop it, and that's a whole nother conversation altogether.
Good serve by Williams there, knocked over by Jenna Turner. There's a setup to Carter. No, fake to Carter. Back over to Beek, which is blocked to the net. Great block by Melbourne for the point. Or nope, point with Viera. 21-8. Viera leads now. Sydney Williams on the serve. Good one, gets down there. Set by Turner for the spike there by Ashland. Set for Matt Carter. Tipped to the net, but the spike still drops in for the kill. 22-8 now, the Viera lead late in the first set as the Hawks are dominant here in set number 1.
Dominant indeed.
Sydney Williams, there's a setback for the spike by Ashland. But Libby Ashland says, you guys seen my spike. Nice one there by Ashland for the kill. 22-9, Viera leads. McKenna Green back to serve for Melbourne. Green to serve, just clips the top of the net. Viera keeps it in, and what a way to get it over by Amelia Talbot. But it drops in out of bounds. Melbourne keeps the point. 22-10, Viera leading here. Again, it is Green, McKenna Green on the serve. Gets over there, received by Viera. Set spike by Beek. Set across for Turner. Jenna Turner drops it in there. The second tip keeps it over. Matt Carter tips it down for the kill that time. Not the normal Matt Carter point with a high-flying spike. That one just a little tip, drops it right over the net for the point. 23-10, Viera leads as Haley Beek heads back to the service line for Viera. Beek, serve, drops down, back corner for the point.
Beautiful finesse by Beek there.
Beek drops it in right in the back corner on the line. And Melbourne leading now. Viera leads Melbourne to set point, 24-10. Viera, set point for Beek. Serve, drops in there again. And Beek picks up the set win on an ace as the Viera Hawks take set number 1 here from Melbourne, 25-10.
What else can you say but just dominant?
Yeah, I mean Melbourne kept it close to the first 5-6 points, and then a few great kills. A long run at the service line by Matt Carter put Viera up and ahead. And that's what you see in volleyball. You can have some comebacks, but if a team takes a big lead and they're really running away with it, it just rolls. Snowball effect, if you will. It all just adds up and can kind of get away from you, especially with a team where they're playing like Viera. They're a team that can do it very well.
Coming up this week on the Brevard Sports Network, lots of great action. We got JV football tomorrow night. Rockledge and O'Galley, live from O'Galley. Look, both JV teams, it should be a pretty good game. The program that Rockledge has built from their JV, and I just mean over the last, since Wayne Younger took over. Look, the program he has built, he started at the JV Youth League, or the Youth League, into JV, and just from then has just brought in talent, and then you get you have a defensive staff like the legendary Coach Lusk, who if you want to talk high school football here in the state of Florida, defense-wise, the conversation starts with Coach Lusk, and I will die on that hill. And then you had another great defensive coordinator, Tyrone Giscombe. Those coaches and the rest of the Rockledge Raider coaching staff, all phenomenal. Dwayne Carter, the quarterback coach, Mr. Love, Coach Love, coaching the offensive line. What they're doing with that program, it's pretty awesome. And then you talk about O'Galley and the program Chris Sands is building. And he's very hands-on with his JV program. That's going to be a fun game. You won't want to miss it. tomorrow night, Rockledge O'Galley JV football. And then Friday night we got some pretty big games. I'll be back here on this campus for Melbourne and Cocoa. It'll be myself, Logan Pettit, and Billy Palmer on the call.
New combination over here.
Yeah,
shaking it up a little bit.
Well, see, new combination that you see.
Well,
we did Merritt Island's playoff game where Brady Denneberg kicked the field goal to send Merritt Island to the state championship game. Speaking of Merritt Island,
that's where I'll be at Friday night. I have the Merritt Island Mustangs hosting the Heritage Panthers. A game where we may see new Jesuit transfer quarterback for Merritt Island. I guess we'll see that. Seems to be something that we may find out on game day. And then also, game of the week you mentioned, and then we have Alan Slaughter-Zinski as Viera and Baker County. So both of these teams, volleyball teams, their football teams will be on Brevard Sports Network. Plus Merritt Islands is also
Coach,
on tonight. So,
Viera, Baker County, Coach Mays coming back to town.
Viera beat them last year.
They did. They went down to Baker County and beat them. But look, Coach Mays and Baker County, they got themselves a team that's expected to make a decent run at a state championship appearance. So,
and Viera, unfortunately, still searching for win number 1 on the year. But hey, why not go out and get it Friday night? Go out and get it against Coach Mays. Go back-to-back 2 straight years. So here we are for set number 2. Back to serve. We're underway. Sydney Williams gets it started for Viera. They won set number 1. Good spike there. Tipped at the net, though. Ashland on the spike. Set up Matt Carter. Spike there. Gets in, and Viera starts off set number 2 with a point on a Matt Carter kill. Williams back to serve for Viera. That one drops in. There's the setup again by Ashland on the spike. Great receive by Sydney Williams. Set up here. Got to get it over. A little bit too close to the net for Mallory Murs as she sends it into the net. 1-1 as we start set number 2. Checking in for Melbourne, number 13, Ariana Maldonado. Back to serve for Melbourne is McKenna Green. Green to serve. Just creeps over the net. McKenna Green picks up the ace for the Bulldogs. 2-1, Melbourne leads to start set number 2.
And Melbourne's got to go on this roll again, like we talked about that beginning of that first set. It can't be just one inside out. It's got to be 2, 3.
An unforced error ends that run as Green's serve goes into the net. Not something you want to see if you're Melbourne. 2-2 now, the tie to start set number 2. Haley Beek back to serve for Viera. Beek, hers goes into the net, so Melbourne gets another chance here. Back-to-back serves into the net. Checking in for Melbourne, number 7, Gabby Latman. And Latman will head back to serve for Melbourne.
If the student sections were as live as they usually are, you would usually hear the chant, there's a net there.
Latman serve. There's a set by Murs. Carter has to send it over, going long. They keep it in. Set by Green for the spike by Maldonado. Set back for the spike. Good spike there by Casey Morgan. It's kept in. And Ashland sent it over and out of bounds as Viera takes a 3-2 lead. Well, actually, I think it was called in. From my angle, I'm on this sideline. I got to side with Coach Wayne here. I'm pretty sure that one sailed out of bounds.
Yeah. But then again, there is a, I believe it's the R2. I could very well be wrong.
And yeah, there goes the point to Viera. As I expected there, that ball sailed out of bounds. 3-2, the lead for, or 3-3 now, a tie to sort out the scoreboard. Viera to serve is Casey Morgan. And somehow Melbourne gets that one over in 3 touches. Great effort set by Moores. Big spike by Matt Carter. And Carter was a big factor in set number 1. Puts Viera ahead in set number 2, 4-3. Morgan back to serve again for Viera. Morgan serve. As there's a set, the spike drops in nicely by Kennedy Arthurs for the kill. It's 4-4. Melbourne hanging in there early in the second set. What you want to see if you're the Bulldogs.
Right, and again, multiple points here.
Libby Ashland back to serve for Melbourne. Ashland drops that one in nicely. Set by Mers for Matt Carter, spike. And man, just can't be received as Matt Carter with the kill. 5-4, Viera leads. Now Matt Carter heads back to the service line for the Hawks with the lead. Carter on the serve. Drops that one in. There's the set by Green. Tip over, blocked by Maldonado. There's a setup. Spike by Sophia Jones. There they go across. Arthurs is blocked to the net. Set by Green. Back. Tipped, blocked, back. And the block goes out of bounds, though the point stays with Melbourne off the Ariana Maldonado tip. Checking in for Melbourne is Maddie Slate. And she'll head back to the service line, all tied up again, 5-5. Slate to serve. Maddie Slate for Melbourne. Drops that one in to Freckleton. Set by Mers. Big spike there, and the kill by Sydney Williams for Viera. Williams with a big kill there. 6-5, Viera leads. And a close one early in set number 2 after Viera took set number 1. That serve sails out of bounds by Mers. And now it's 6-6. Checking in for Melbourne is Jenna Turner. Heading back to serve will be Kennedy Arthurs. As Arthurs looks to give Melbourne the lead. Arthurs drops that one in, received by Freckleton, set up by Mers. There's the spike by Sophia Jones. Set up towards the net. Turner's blocked. Good block there by Viera. Turner sends it over. There's the receive by Talbot setting it up. Too close to the net for Jones to send over. And just like that, Melbourne leads it here in set number 2, 7-6. As Arthurs heads back to serve for Melbourne. Good receive there. Set up by Mers. The spike by Sydney Williams. And Williams ties it back up 7-7.
Williams saying, hey, Carter's not the only one who's got power on this squad. Watch this.
Sydney Williams, a lot of power on that one too. Sophia Jones back to serve for Viera. Jones. Serve drops in there. Received by Arthur. Set by Green. Back for the spike. And the spike by Mohovic in the net. Viera takes the lead back now 8-7. As Sophia Jones heads back to serve for the Hawks once again. Served by Jones. First touch gets over for Melbourne, which sets up a free ball tip by Casey Morgan for the point. 9-7, Viera leads. And now Melbourne's got to cut this Viera run off at the stem. Serve there. Drops in. McKenna Green knocks it over there as Freckleton gets it up. Mers with a set. Spike by Beek for the kill. And now Viera's starting to get rolling. Not what you want to see if you're Melbourne. 10-7 Hawks lead.
The only lead Melbourne can seem to get, they can get a 1-point lead, and then that's it. And then Viera just comes storming back.
Sophia Jones to serve for Viera again. And Jones, wow, what a play by McKenna Green. Good soccer-like kick there, but they can't get it over on the third touch. 11-7 now, Viera leads. Sophia Jones back to serve again for Viera. Currently riding a 5-0 run. Jones knocks over there. Green with a set. Tip. Blocked and sent back over by Williams. Green sends it back to Freckleton. There's a set up for the spike. It's blocked. But the block goes out of bounds on the spike by Casey Morgan. 12-7. Viera leads on the block out. And Melbourne Coach Dermer takes a timeout for the Bulldogs. They're trying to cut this Viera run off as Viera leads now 12-7 here in set number 2.
Had a chance to have a conversation with Melbourne Athletic Director Chad Raymond, and he's excited to have us here on Friday night. Just talking to him about Friday night, placement and things like that. We're all good to go. We're all set up. He was even excited to meet you for the first time, and yeah.
Yeah, that'll be our Brevard Sports Network game of the week.
Coach Chad Raymond, just all around good guy. Former Florida Tech coach.
That one, man, that's a highly talked up game. They'll settle it on the gridiron Friday night. Serve by Sophia Jones to get a start out of the timeout. Good effort by Melbourne, but off the stand, out of bounds. 13-7. Viera wins the timeout and continues to roll midway through set number 2. Sophia Jones stays at the service line for Viera. Sophia Jones on the serve. Drops in nicely. McKenna Green sets it. The spike by Turner's blocked. Blocked by Beacon Williams. 14-7 now. Viera leads on an 8-0 run. When this run started, Melbourne was leading this game, and now they trail by 7. Sophia Jones to serve. Jones drops it in, received by Arthurs. Set up. Green, there's the spike. It's tipped at the net. Back by Mahovic. There's a spike. Good job by Mahovic, sending it back over. Set by Murs. Back to the spike by Beek. Powerful one down the line. And in. 15-7 now the lead for Viera. A lot of power on that Viera side. Some of these spikes. Sophia Jones back to serve again for the Hawks. Jones serves. Drops it in there. Good receive by Arthurs. Set up here for the spike by Turner. Nearly drops down there. Murs spike again by Casey Morgan. Set across. Turner again. Tipped. Out of bounds, and the run finally ends on a block out by Viera. 15-8 Hawks lead. Heading back to serve for Melbourne. El Mahovic.
They're in set number 2, Miss Michelle.
Set number 2, Viera leading sets 1-0, and they lead set number 2, 15-8. Set up by Murs, big spike there. And Viera can't receive the beak spike well. Sorry, Melbourne can't receive the beak spike well. Point heads over to Viera, 16-8. Matt Carter checking in now for Viera.
Michelle Williamson, an alumni here from Melbourne. Played volleyball for them.
Sydney Williams to serve for Viera, and Williams picks up the ace on a misjudgment by Melbourne. 17-8 now the lead for Viera. They've outscored them recently by a solid 11-1. On this run, Williams serve. Drops receive. There's the setup by Green. Here comes the spike and the kill by Libby Ashland. And Ashland's someone you got to look out for coming into this game with 82 kills. Checking in for Melbourne is Ariana Maldonado. McKenna Green back to serve for Melbourne. Green on the serve. Drops in. Good receive there by Talbot. Set up for the spike by Carter. There's one way to stop Matt Carter. Spike going out of bounds.
Use the power against her.
Point goes to Melbourne, 17-10. They keep it. McKenna Green. Her serve. Rainbows drops down. There's the setback for the spike by Beek. Nearly blocked up there in the net. Set by Green across for the spike again. Tipped at the net. That one by Turner. Spike by Carter. Now received by McKenna Green. Set up. Turner sends it over. Received by Talbot. Set up there for the spike by Casey Morgan as we got a nice rally going. Touch goes over there by Gawi. Set up. Tip. And the point goes to Viera off a Melbourne violation there, ending the rally. Tough way to end it. 18-10, Viera leads.
One of those pesky in the net calls.
Beek on the serve there. Good receive by Galway up towards the net. Spike by Turner. Talbot lays it all out there, but the free ball spike for the kill by Ashland on the free ball kill. 18-11, Melbourne hanging in there. Back to serve for Melbourne, number 7, Gabby Latman. Latman on the serve, drops it in there. Set up by Mers for Matt Carter. And Matt Carter with another kill on the night. 19-11, Viera leads. Sophia Jones checks in for Viera. Back to serve for the Hawks will be Casey Morgan. And Morgan back to serve for Viera. Casey Morgan drops in. There's Arthur, set by Green. Spike by Ashland. Goes long cross court out of bounds. 20-11 now. The Viera Hawks lead late in set number 2 as they look to take the 2-set advantage. Morgan back to serve. Morgan serve off the net. Point goes to Melbourne, 20-12. Viera leads. Libby Ashland to serve for Melbourne again. Good receive, set, second touch, great fake by Mers for the point. 21-12, Viera leads.
Mers, who has a sister up at Florida Tech, playing volleyball for the Florida Tech Panthers.
Matt Carter serve, drops in, received by Melbourne. Green across, spike coming there by Mahovic. There's a spike down the middle by Williams. That one can't be received. The kill by Sydney Williams for the point. Now double-digit lead for Viera. 22-12, the Hawks lead. Matt Carter stays at the service line for the Hawks. Matt Carter serve. Tipped in by Arthur. Green, spike by Mahovic. Mahovic into the net there on that spike. 23-12, Viera leads as they look to close out a set 2 victory. Served by Carter. Carter drops it in there. Great job, Melbourne, keeping it in. Galway sends it over. Big spike blocked. Great block, but it goes out of bounds by Maldonado. Set point once again for Viera. 24-12. Matt Carter back to serve for set point for the Hawks. Here comes set point for Viera. Carter drops it in, received by Latman. Set back for the spike. Spike there by Maldonado. There's the setup. Spike by Beek. Off the roof. Good diving over there by Galway, but the rafters are the ones that end Melbourne's second set. As Viera takes sets 1 and 2. Set 2, they win it 25-12. As now Viera looks to end it in 3. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsor tonight, the Mortgage Depot. In today's age of voicemail, computer technology, and longer work hours, many institutions have lost the personal aspect of mortgage lending. The Mortgage Depot strives to fulfill every type of customer needs, whether the customer chooses to apply online, by phone, or by an appointment face-to-face in the office. You can call them at 321-757-5000. As we get set here for set number 3, Viera Hawks try and get the nightly sweep in all 3 levels of volleyball. And they try and do it in 3 sets, as they won the first 2 sets pretty solidly. And man, after Melbourne took a 7-6 lead, they proceed to get outscored 19-5. 14 plus point there. A 14-point advantage in that run for Viera.
I mean, look, Melbourne is, Melbourne's young. I mean, if Jackson, you wouldn't mind handing me the roster real quick. I mean, when you look at Melbourne, there's a lot of, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, There's 4 juniors, 1 sophomore. All right, so I lied there. That was my fault. They're quite a senior heavy team, and you know these seniors have been doing a lot to try to help retool this program, and you know we had them in studio at the beginning of the season, and just listening to how passionately they talked about the program, how much they believe in it. It's just a testament to what Jan Dermer has done.
Trying to get you guys an update from Merritt Island and Rockledge. Seems like they're at a break over there. Rockledge is about to serve. Try and get you an update here before set 3 starts.
Viera up 2-0 in sets. Won the freshman game in 3 sets. JV they took in 2 straight.
So here we go as we get ready for set number 3 as Viera looks to take this one in 3 sets. Melbourne trying to keep themselves alive and send it to 4. McKenna Green will be back to serve to start. As there's the serve by Green going long, and Viera starts us off with the point. 1-0. Viera leads the start set number 3. Haley Beek back to serve, and her serve sails long 2, and just like that, 1-1 here to start set number 3. Checking in for Melbourne, number 7, Gabby Latman. Latman back to serve, or 1-1. Melbourne's got to hang in this one and hang in for the whole set, not just the first 7 points. There's a set up by Murs, spike by Matt Carter. Good receive by McKenna Green to keep it in. Ashland ends up sending it over. Murs on the set. There's a spike by Casey Morgan. It's blocked out by Melbourne. 2-1 Viera leads here at the start of set number 3. Casey Morgan back to serve for Viera. Morgan on the serve, drops in there. Good setup for the spike. Knocked over by Kennedy Arthur, set by Murs for the Matt Carter spike. Once again, Viera receives it. Gawley across to Arthurs. Arthurs tips it over that time. Murs sets up for the spike. Sophia Jones just tips it over there, and she extends Viera's lead now 3-1 to start set number 3. Casey Morgan again back to serve for Viera. Morgan on the serve for Viera. Good set by McKenna Green, up for the spike by Ashland. Ashland sends it cross court. Good dig by Beek. Sophia Jones sent it down there. Violation into the net for Melbourne. 4-1 now Viera leads. This is their hottest start to a set for Melbourne. Bad timing here in set number 3. Casey Morgan serving in the net. And as I say that, switches hands now. Libby Ashland back to serve for Melbourne.
You jinxed him, Jackson. You jinxed him.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
Ashland serve there, set by Murs. Second touch, set goes over. Set up, there's the spike by Mahovic. Set up by Murs again. Spike by Sophia Jones, blocked. Well, too powerful for the full block, though, as it gets over, and the point goes to Viera. Matt Carter back to serve. 5-2, Hawks lead. Matt Carter on the serve, off the top of the net and back. 5-3 now, Viera leads. As back to serve for Melbourne will be number 11, Haley Trillo. Trillo to serve now for Melbourne, 5-3. Viera leads early in set number 3 now. Trillo Drops in there, received by Freckleton. Mers keeps it in. Beek sends it over, just over the net. And Beek picks up the kill as Latman can't get under it on the dig. 6-3, Viera leads. And what for them could be the match-winning set, that would be Viera. Good serve there by Mers, and that free ball gets spiked back down by Williams. Sydney Williams, 7-3, Viera leads. As Mallory Mers serves again for Viera. Mers, great job by Melbourne keeping up, but the heave sends up into the rafters. Point stays with Viera, 8-3. Mers on the serve. Goes out of bounds. Melbourne picks up the point again now, 8-4. Viera leads. Checking in for Melbourne, number 2, Jenna Turner. Back to serve for Melbourne will be Kennedy Arthurs. Arthurs to serve. Arthurs drops in well for Williams. Set by Mers. Sydney Williams spiking the kill for Viera. 9-4. Viera leading now. Back to serve will be Sophia Jones for Viera. Jones drops that one in, nice set by McKenna Green for the spike. Spike Maldonado was the one on the spike for Melbourne. Then for Viera was a spike by Casey Morgan. As we go back and forth here on the rally, Sophia Jones sends it over there, received by Golly. Set for the spike by Turner. And Jenna Turner picks up the kill for Melbourne. 9-5, Viera leads. Melbourne keeping it somewhat close here, a 4-point game. Back to serve will be the libero, Nina Golly. Golly to serve for Melbourne. Golly serve, received there. Set by Mers, back for the spike. A big spike there by Haley Beek. And Arthurs will send it over, received by Freckleton. Set by Mers for Sydney Williams, spike. Blocked back by Ashland. But Williams still ends up sending it over. Turner, good dig.
Oh
somehow
gosh.
Keeping it alive. Casey Morgan was the one on the dig. Spike by Arthurs. Melbourne keeps it alive. Freckleton sets it up. And unfortunately, Viera ends it with a 4th touch. Great effort keeping that rally alive, but Melbourne setting up a run here. Viera leads it 9-6. Galway, the serve for Melbourne. That one drops in, received by Talbot. There's the set. Tip over by Sydney Williams, received by Green. Bump set. Here comes the spike. It's blocked. Blocked by Williams and Beek on the Turner spike. 10-6. Viera leads again, as it'll be Sydney Williams back to serve for Viera now. Matt Carter checks back in for Viera. Williams serve. Good drop. Trying to keep it in, and Melbourne can't get it over in 3. Point stays with Viera, and this is where the run tends to start. Melbourne's got to cut it off. 11-6, Viera leads. Sydney Williams back to serve midway through. Set number 3. Served by Williams. Good receive there. There's a set by Green. Up for the spike by Ashland. Ashland sent it right down the line. Problem is it doesn't get over the net. 12-6. Viera leads. As Sydney Williams head back to serve once again.
I think what she was trying to kind of get it to toe the line and then just drop, and unfortunately didn't hit it exactly how she wanted it.
Williams drops it right over. Great second touch set by Green to get over, and then they send it back in the first touch. Mers sets over. Spike by Matt Carter. Drops in for another Matt Carter kill. 13-6, Viera leads. And another serve by Sydney Williams dropping in. Set by Green, up for Ashland. Ashland with a nice tip for the point with Melbourne. 13-7, Viera leads. McKenna Green heads back to serve for Melbourne as L. Mahovic checks in. Green to serve. Good serve by McKenna Green, received by Talbot, set by Murs, back for the spike by Beek. Beek spike. Tipped out of bounds there by Melbourne for the Viera point, 14-7. Checking in for Viera, number 14, Hope Svartstrom. Svartstrom checks in, I believe, for the first time, and she'll head back to serve. Svartstrom to serve now for Viera. Drops it in there, received by Galway. Tipped over there nicely by Ashland. Sets up for the spike by Morgan. Galway sets it up here. Turner sends it over. Received by Talbot. There's a set by Murs. Matt Carter tips it over now. Set back. There's the spike by Mahovic. Set up now for Matt Carter. Spike. And Matt Carter picks up the kill on the back line. 15-7 now. Viera leads. Back to serve again for Viera. Svartstrom. Svartstrom sends that one over. Received by Ashland up towards the net. McKenna Green sends it over the free ball. Spiked by Carter. Kept up by Galway, which ends up with a Melbourne point. 15-8 now. Viera leads. Checking in for Melbourne is Gabby Latman. 15-8 Viera leads. Latman back to serve for Melbourne. Latman sends it. There's a setup by Murs for the spike. Matt Carter. Story of the night. Matt Carter with the kill.
This has been the Matt Carter show. I mean, Matt Carter, it just seemed like she woke up out of bed this morning and said, this is my game, and
no one's going to stop me.
Everyone just get out of my way.
Back to serve for Viera, number 11, Casey Morgan. Morgan serve, drops in there. See by Arthur. There's the setup towards that big spike by Ashland. Great job by Viera keeping up, and Carter sends it over. Good receive there by Latman. Set by Green. Fake the spike by Ashland. Ends up getting over by Arthurs. Beek sends it over on the spike out of bounds. Point stays with Melbourne. 16-9. Viera leads. Melbourne trying their best to hang in there and try and advance the set to 4. Libby Ashland back to serve for Melbourne. Ashland drops it in there. Good receive. Set by Murs. Fake spike by Carter, and Sophia Jones picks up the kill for Viera. Now 17-9, Viera leads. Matt Carter back to serve for the Hawks. 17-9. Viera leads. Carter spikes it over there, received by Latman. Kenna Green sets it up for the spike by Mahovic. Mahovic received by Carter, set up for the spike. And that one blocked down the line for the point for Viera by Sophia Jones. 18-9. Viera leads late in set number 3. Matt Carter to serve for the Hawks. Checking in for Melbourne, number 15, Alex Smith. As Matt Carter stays at the service line for Viera. Carter sends that one over. Arthurs receives it, set up by Green for the spike, or the tip on that one by Smith. Set up by Murs for the spike by Sydney Williams. Great job by Melbourne, sending back over the free ball spike by Williams. And Sydney Williams picks up the kill, 19-9, the lead for Viera late in the third set. Matt Carter stays at the service line. Matt Carter sends it over. Arthur receives Green, set up to Smith. And Alex Smith with the kill right in bounds there. In comes from Melbourne, number 11, Haley Trillo. 19-10, Viera leads. Trillo back to serve for Melbourne. Viera leads here in set number 3. Hawks lead the set advantage 2-0. Trillo to serve. Trillo. Serve drops in. Good receive by Talbot. There's a set. Spike by Sophia Jones. Sophia Jones picks up the kill off of Arthurs. 20-10. Now Viera leads, where they are 5 points away from a 3-set victory to cap off a perfect night. It would be for Viera. There's the serve by Mers. Set up by Green for the spike by Arthurs. Can't be received. There's the set. Back for the spike by Sydney Williams. Sydney Williams with the kill down the line. Carter's had a great night, but so was Williams for the Hawks. Back to serve is Mallory Mers, 21-10. The lead for Viera, and this may be their most dominant set so far of the night. And there's another point, the ace by Mallory Mers. Can't be received by Lapman, 22-10 now for Viera. Served by Mers, drops in, Lapman receives. Green with the setup for the spike by Arthurs. It's tipped by Viera, and the chase down, can't get there by Freckleton. The point heads back over to Melbourne, 22-11, Viera leads. Kennedy Arthurs back to serve for the Bulldogs. That serve by Arthurs, good receive by Freckleton, set by Mers up towards net. Sydney Williams with a spike, and another kill for Viera. Sydney Williams makes it 23-11. Back to serve is Sophia Jones for Viera. Jones serve into the net. Point heads back over to Melbourne, 23-12 now. As Nina Golly heads back to serve for the Bulldogs. Golly. Golly serve there, received by Freckleton. Set up by Talbot up to the net for Casey Morgan. Set up Green up towards the net. Turner spike. Kept in by Freckleton. Set up for nice tip by Morgan and Casey Morgan. Good call on the tip for the point. 24-12. Here we have match point for the Viera Hawks as they try and cap off a perfect night with a perfect 3-set win. Sydney Williams back to serve for Viera. Match point for the Hawks. Williams serve. That one just gets over on the first touch. Set up by Mers. Back, Matt Carter. Which was looked to be a slam dunk kind of tip to get it over. 25-12. And that's how it ends in 3 sets for the Viera Hawks. Again, 25-12. Matt Carter ends it in the 3rd set. Viera advances to 11-3 on a big win tonight. Melbourne falls to 5-6. Great win tonight for Viera in 3 sets. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsor one final time, the Mortgage Depot. In today's age of voicemail, computer technology, and longer work hours, many institutions have lost the personal aspect of mortgage lending. The Mortgage Depot strives to fulfill every type of customer needs, whether the customer chooses to apply online, by phone, or via an appointment face-to-face in the office. You can call them at 321-757-5000 or visit them in Merritt Island. Again, thanks everyone for watching. Congrats, Viera, on the win tonight in 3 sets. Final set score 25-12. I think they were led tonight. If I had to name 2 players of the game, Matt Carter, obviously, and Sydney Williams, 2 big key players tonight for Viera. So for the Melbourne Bulldogs, the Viera Hawks, and Kayla Brown, I'm Jackson Robb. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great night, everybody, and make it a sports night.